I spent 2 years traveling the world and working remote, and it made me absolutely miserable. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 things that you need to know before becoming a digital nomad and the reasons that I'm quitting this lifestyle for good. First off, what is a digital nomad? When I say digital nomad, I mean someone who travels a ton, they work remote, they don't really have one home, but they're just in different countries or different places all the time, working remote, getting to experience new cultures, and doing that pretty much all the time. It's a lifestyle, not a holiday, not a vacation. And for a lot of people, this has become a huge goal, to be able to travel the world and make money online. I've even heard this called the new American dream. And there's even a Reddit forum with over 2 million people, presumably all digital nomads who are doing this crazy thing. And when I graduated college and I started running my business full-time online, I had enough money and also total freedom to be able to travel wherever I wanted to all the time. In the last 2 years, I've visited over a dozen countries. I've got to see world wonders, and all while doing this on my own time. It sounds incredible, but for me, it made me absolutely miserable. And I don't want to sound ungrateful because I know it's a huge blessing to be able to travel and work remotely, and no one made me do this. I did this all on my own. For many of you watching, it might be your goal to do something similar. I just want to share a bit of my perspective and share the 4 essential things that I think you need to know before actually giving this a try out. Now, the first reason you might not want to be a digital nomad is that traveling constantly makes it almost impossible to build relationships. Being in a new spot every couple of weeks or every couple of months makes you really good at building new relationships, but really bad at maintaining and cultivating deep relationships. I know the number one problem digital nomads seem to face is just that they're so incredibly lonely. Oftentimes people, they like to visit countries that are totally unlike anywhere else they've lived before. And that makes sense. Like, it's cool to not just move down the street where you live. You really want to see the world if you're going to do this. But that's going to mean that you're living far away from your friends and your family. It's going to be meaning that you might be living in a culture or a place where you just don't get it. You could be living in a country where you don't know anyone. You don't maybe speak the language. You don't understand the culture. And there are plenty of other digital nomads out there that you can meet, you can travel with. You can definitely make friends with locals, but it's so much easier, at least for me in my experience, to build relationships when I'm around the same people all the time versus getting a new set of friends every 3 weeks. I felt like my relationships just weren't worth investing into because they weren't. I mean, like, I was going to have a new set of friends 3 weeks from now. My best friends ended up being people that I knew online, and sometimes we'd get together, we'd travel, we'd have a blast, but not having a consistent set of relationships or a consistent set of friends, or for me, not having a church to go to every Sunday, the same church, was so hard to deal with. I see people on the digital nomad forum on Reddit talking about this all the time, so I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. If you want to try being a digital nomad and traveling all the time, you got to know that this is going to be the hardest part. Number 2 is that it's really hard to build routine when you're in a new place all the time. Me personally, I thrive off routine, and I found that when I didn't have a consistent routine, I was jumbled, disorganized. I wasn't enjoying life. When you move somewhere every couple months or weeks, you have to relearn everything. You don't know where anything is. Of course, you have like Google Maps and stuff, you figure it out. But I know there were so many times where things that were so convenient and easy became these major chores. We were in Puerto Rico for a couple weeks, and we rented a rental car, I remember. And we had to like vacuum all the sand out because we were at the beach every single day. So returning the car, we had to clean the car, vacuum the sand out. And there's just no self-serve vacuums in Puerto Rico. Like here in America, any gas station around here would have that. But in Puerto Rico, I remember being panicked because like I thought it'd be such an easy chore. And now I had to spend hours and hours trying to figure out how to clean the car. Same thing with like washing machines in Europe. Here, everywhere, there's a washing machine or a laundromat. When we were in Ireland, we had to like drive, find someone who could take a trash bag full of our laundry, wash it, fold it, dry it for us, and give it back to us. Everything was just so different. And having to change my routine for simple things like that, doing laundry or vacuuming the car, those are really easy examples, but maybe a more relevant one, everyday one, where you're going to go to the gym. What are you going to eat? Where are you going to buy your food? Of course, some of these things are easier than others to solve, but I found that I was using a huge portion of my mental energy trying to do these things that normally would be easy because they're a part of a routine, but it just created so much friction when I was traveling. Number 3 is that travel takes away your focus. When you travel, it can sometimes take away a whole day of your time just to get to a place, maybe a few days to recover from the jet lag. And then when you finally do get there and you have the time you can feel a little bit of FOMO. I remember being in Como in Italy and taking sales calls for like 8 hours straight, which is something that normally I love to do. Like that's a good day for me here in the States. But the fact that we were in Como, I was thinking to myself all day, like, I don't want to be doing this work. I want to be out on the lake. I want to be enjoying what Italy has to offer. I couldn't enjoy the things that I would normally enjoy when I was at home, and I couldn't enjoy the things that I would enjoy if I were just there on vacation. Or the opposite would happen. I'd end up out all day, enjoying where I was, and being behind on work. It's like you're walking this fine line between being in a season of leisure and a season of work, and you're never really doing anything well. You never really get to enjoy either. You're always behind on work or behind on getting to enjoy the destination. Now, if you have more of a lifestyle business or you have like a remote job where you can work an hour or two a day, this might not be a big deal. But my work requires a lot more of me than that. So I found that I was always kind of in this back and forth between that. Reason number 4 is that the things that make life worth living aren't in any particular place. I remember, same deal, when we were in Como, we were having this really nice like steak dinner in front of this beautiful 1500s cathedral. And I remember thinking to myself, this is nice, but my own bed would be pretty good tonight. Like just being able to sleep at home would be great. I'm in one of the most beautiful places in the world, having a $100 steak, and I'm thinking, man, I wish I was home. I wish I could have a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich for $7. Like the things that I love in life are not specific to any destination aside of home. The people, the things, the routine, all of that, the things that I've grown so accustomed to and the things that I really love and enjoy in life, I didn't get to enjoy it because I was in a new place every month, every 2 months. It sounds like a really silly thing. It sounds so silly. If you've never traveled before, if you've never felt this feeling, I don't think that's going to sound reasonable to you at all. You're not going to feel bad for me about that, but I found that it was so hard to enjoy life when I was missing the things that were at home. Now, if you wanted to build a lifestyle business where you work a couple of hours a day, you don't have a ton of meaningful relationships, maybe you don't need a routine quite as much, maybe digital nomading is for you. Like I fully acknowledge that there are going to be some people who would absolutely love to live like this, or at least would enjoy it for a season. I'll tell you that I definitely enjoyed it for a season. I don't think that travel is evil. I don't think that I'll never travel again. I've got a few trips already planned this year, but going forward, I think I'm going to be a lot more intentional with my travel and try to structure this more into seasons. And I would encourage you to do the same thing too. I think being a full-time digital nomad is rough. Being a part-time digital nomad, where maybe you do this for 2-3 months out of the year, that might be a little bit more manageable. I'm super grateful for the character that traveling has built in me. I feel like I got to see the world a bit. I feel like I'm a more interesting person. You just have to be careful with the way you go about it. It's not for everyone. Now, I hope this gave you some perspective. If you've made it to this point in the video, you might like the content I create about running a business online and documenting the journey. I would encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.